In 2019, what was your life before the pandemic? That's right. What was your life like before the pandemic? What was the normalcy? What did you do? What did you have in place? What was your routine before the pandemic? In 2023, I ask you, what has been garnished from your normalcy? Many of us were bombarded with fear of our livelihood, fear of simply breathing, fear of shaking hands, fear of hugging, fear of touching. Fear. We were bombarded with that. It was a new norm. But yet, we adjusted. But I'm going to ask you again, what did you have in place in 2019 and what has been garnished from you? The trauma of 2020 now has forever been etched in our hearts, in our minds. But we had to keep moving forward. The overwhelming emotions of not knowing what was next. How long will I be confined to this house, these masks, this hand sanitizer? My question is, what was taken from you? It is not the same reality. Some of us saw not one, not two. We saw 3 companies hit $1 trillion market cap, yet we were confined, yet we were struggling for life, yet some of us lost jobs that never came back. Some of us were forced into retirement. Some people were forced to take shots, so they had to choose between the shot and provide for their family, so they chose the shot. So I'm asking you, what was taken from you? What was taken from you? Some of us had to surrender. What was taken from you? I want you to sit on that when you decide that you're scared to invest in the stock market or you're scared to build wealth. I want you to ask the question, what was taken from you? Because a lot of times we don't move forward unless we've been provoked. So when I ask you the question on what has been taken from you, I want you to sit back now and say, has that now provoked you? Has it now provoked you? I want us to truly wrap our mind around what we went through. What did it take for you to get here? What did it take for you to get to May 31st, 2023? What did it take for you to get here? Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. What did it take for you to get here? I ain't talking about all your life. I'm just talking about from 2020 to now. These last 3 years have been something. They've been something. The thought of seeing somebody cough freezes your whole what you got going on. Not wanting to hug the people that you love. Believe it or not, you just now getting into the fact where you are truly comfortable with hugging somebody. We're talking to somebody. At one point, we didn't even want to let people in our space. You just now getting to that comfort zone. So I'm asking you, what did that take from you? And the reason why I'm asking you that, because while you were in fear, some other people were profiting.
What's good, trappers, man? It's your boy, the Wall Street Trapper. Right now, I want to invite you to an amazing experience full of value. That is my community, Trappers Anonymous. It's 100% the greatest fundamental investing community on the market. Listen, your portfolio should be a masterpiece. And the only way we get you there is if we help you to learn how to invest with confidence. Now listen, I get it. Like, you don't know a lot about stocks, or maybe you've heard people say how much money they lost in stocks, but I can guarantee you, one, because they weren't in the community, and two, they lack the information. Our goal in Travelers Anonymous is to help you, really to hold your hand on the journey to becoming a confident investor, learning how to navigate through the different events that the stock market goes through, to take you from panic to encouragement. There's no better time than now. This is an opportunity only for those who are willing to be on the journey. So listen, man, click the link below. Come join me in Travelers Anonymous, man. I will see you in one of our many classes, whether it's Moat Monday, whether it's the 2-hour class we do on Sunday, or whether it's just a book club. Everything is geared toward making you a better investor so you can triple your net worth and turn your last name to an asset. It's your boy, Wall Street Traveler. See you in the trap.
While we were in fear, while we were adjusting, while we were trying to survive, while we were trying to figure out where the next dollar was coming from, while we were trying to figure out, damn, now I got my kids in the house and we adjusting to that. The kids learning from Zoom. They broke up your normalcy. They broke up your life. It was broke. You was bombarded. You was discombobulated. What was taken from you in that moment? And while it was taken from you, what did it give someone else? What did your inconvenience provide to someone else? What did your fear, what did you losing your job, what did you, listen, some of us even saw people pass away and we couldn't even go to the funeral. But now we have to adjust. But the adjustment now is in a new environment. So after we go through that, now we get into a situation now where unemployment goes to all-time highs. Credit card, all-time highs. United States debt, all-time highs. Now the recession fear is all over us. So how do we shift from one to another and still be asked to produce in normal capacity? I'm gonna ask you again. What was taken from you, fam? And now that it's been taken from you, I want to ask you, what do you do now to get it back? I said all that to ask you this question. What do you do now to get it back? How do you restore yourself mentally? How do you restore yourself financially? Some of you were just on track. You was in stride. Only to be put in a position where you had to decide, damn, do I go to work? Do I get the unemployment check? Do I start the business? Do I invest? You scared to invest because you don't got no money coming in. What do I do? What do you do when the system fails you? The question again is, what was taken from you? And after it was taken from you, what do you now give birth to? Do we get on the same blueprint as America? Do we start to invest? Do we take on the ways? Do we disregard what they've been telling us for years? And do we now create a plan of wealth, a plan of success, a plan of opportunity? Do we trust America? Do we trust the country that we live in? Do we trust that they have our well-being at the forefront? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't. I don't trust a company. I don't trust a company that tells me that I can't overdraft, but they can overdraft by 31 trillion. I can't trust that company. I can't trust that type of provision. I can't trust that company who judges me on my credit score, but yet the American credit score was just downgraded from AAA to AA. I can't trust those provisions. I can't trust that. I can't trust that. So now how do we operate in a society? How do we operate under a regime, a government, a political forefront that we don't trust? How do we do that? How do we trust a society, a government that continues to so-called thrive at the expense of its people? No disregard for the single mother trying to raise her kids. Disregard the father. Disregard black or white. I'm just talking about people. How do we trust a government that continuously and consistently disregard the people? The blueprint that they gave us, it don't work. But yet they're still giving it to us. Tonight we're going to talk about a debt ceiling bill that's put in place. The number one thing that they're going to do, resume student loan payments on debt. It's the number one thing they're going to do. Why? Because it brings in $50 billion a month. You're talking about a government that tells the people to take a shot. That in our right mind, we know that these things take 10 to 15 years before they can even be on the marketplace. We heard about AIDS in the 80s. The HIV thing ain't come to the marketplace until the 2000s, if I'm being honest with you. So how do you give me a shot? 6 months after a pandemic is announced, 6 months after a global disease is announced, you tell me to take the shot? I'm just saying, how do I trust the same government that had an experiment on a Tuskegee Airmen? Why do I not think they're going to do it to me? I'm just saying. So what do we do? What do we do? Where do we get the information from? Where do we build the trust from? I'm saying that tonight we are talking about AI money. We are watching the world pivot. So when I ask you, what do you do? Who do you trust? What has been taken from you? I now want you to go get your reparations out of the stock market. I want you to play the same game that they play. I want you to abort the mission. I want you to abort the mission. I want you to take the blueprint that you had before. I want you to ball it up, the game plan you had before. I want you to ball it up, throw it in the trash, burn the trash, and come up and be an architect. I want you to start from scratch. I want you to go with not what you've heard, not what you've learned, but I want you to make the next decisions in your life based on the now. I want you to base the next decisions you make in your life on, what am I seeing? What am I feeling? You know that feeling you get when, man, I know this ain't right. I know this is a scam. And so you ask somebody, hey, what do you think about this? That's because your gut telling you something. Your gut right now telling you that now is the time.